Yeah, we'll start with the stadium situation in BC Place. Axel, I know that fans were alerted that some games won't be at BC Place this season. What can you tell us about the current situation with BC Place and the Vancouver Whitecaps?
Yeah, I was hoping we would start with sporting things, but it's okay. Yeah, it's we had, and we always want to be transparent, and I think I always want to be honest and share everything, and sometimes it feels like I'm deflecting and I'm saying all these nice things, but that's actually where we have been. And we thought, like, before we really go into the season, it's now time to update and inform our season ticket holders that we go through some challenges. And why we are speaking about it now is because we had, I would say, very friendly and good conversations with PAFCO and BC Place. And we have the feeling that's really the best they can offer to us. So it's from our side, it feels like there's nothing left. There's the progress has come to an end, and I really want to point out, and I think in the season ticket member letter, we also have said that PAFCO and BC Place really tried and to put the best effort in, but it still leaves us in a very difficult situation, and that leaves us in a situation where we cannot play all games in BC Place, where I would say the challenges we have and we have raised cannot be addressed in a way that it is really bettering our situation in a good way. So it was time to be transparent and to share with everyone. And where do we play these games? I mean, some of the games we will play in our market, and we are in conversations with the other venues that are even an option for such games with all the limited capacity we have there. But there will also be games that we will not be playing in our market because, for example, in the Leagues Cup scenario, MLS will then move the game into another MLS market and play the game in another MLS market. And so we will lose one of the home games that we have qualified for, and we'll have to play it on the road.
Are all of the alternate venue options local and regional in BC, or are there opportunities elsewhere in Canada or potentially in the States?
You know, it's hard to say because there are a few games that we will not be able to play that we haven't qualified yet for. So we obviously have to look into what are these games, what are the competition rules say about where can we play games. For example, in a Champions Cup scenario, we are not allowed to play the game outside of Canada. So we would have to play inside of Canada, what is actually a good thing. But then it also has some requirements regarding the venue. Same for Leagues Cup, same for Canadian Championship. So we will have to look in every of these scenarios when we qualify or after we qualify. And so we will always, of course, try to find the most convenient solution for our fans and supporters. But this letter also or the idea behind this letter is to tell everyone, look, there are challenges and we will update you, and not giving everyone the feeling everything is perfect for the season, as we feel we are really good set up for the season on the sporting side, and we want to start with a lot of excitement. We didn't want to come out with that, a week before the fact, maybe.
Axel, we spoke to Ryan Gold about 2 weeks, right, where you're standing. I'm wondering, did he pass the physical here in Vancouver? When was it determined that he would need surgery on his knee? And will he be rehabbing with the team in Spain or coming back to Vancouver for that?
No, Ryan passed the medical here, and it's something that we discussed with him after he had, I would say, a good amount of more loaded sessions. He was able to play 60 minutes against LAFC. And I think if we would play the MLS Cup final in next week, he would be able to play 60 minutes in this game as well. The thing is, the more load we added to him, like we do with all our players, the more it became obvious that there are still some issues he has. And Are they stopping him from training, or are they stopping him from playing 45 minutes? No, not. But is it the right thing to go into a season with knowing already that he has these issues? And then we discussed with him what is the best thing to do. And there's one approach to wait and give it a little bit more time, or the other approach was to send him to another specialist in Europe. And the specialist said, look, it takes exactly the same time if we now do this cleaning and go in with the arthroscopy, then actually to calm it down and to wait another few weeks. So we took that avenue. But the whole starting point of it was that going into Spain, he says, look, it's not perfect. So, and I can tolerate it to a certain level, but what is if it becomes worse?
Your contract with the Whitecaps expires at the end of this year. Have you had any discussions with ownership about an extension? How would you characterize those talks if they've taken place?
There are a lot of talks, and we always keep it the same and talk behind closed doors and release something if something happens. There are other employees, their contracts are up at the end of the year, and we are working on it, and we will always try to find the best solutions for all partners, and then we announce after we found it.
Soon?
After we found the solution.
Okay, go to Elliot.
Hi, Elliot Almond. I'm with the Cascadia Daily News in Bellingham, Washington. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Here. Obviously, the World Cup is on us now, and football is going to take over Vancouver. And the Whitecaps have just coming off this incredible season. And when you look at what you've created here, I'm excited about what's going to come in February and on. The question is, how does it make it special when you have this great team, focus on that team, at the same time the world's biggest sporting event is coming to town?
First of all, it's a good thing that the World Cup is coming to town. I think everyone here was super excited when Vancouver was back in and got the games, and has now 7 games. And I think it's only great for the sport. It's great for the city. And it's overall also something that we consider being good for us and the league. The only thing is we have our challenges with it, because we are living in a stadium situation, and having a stadium situation that makes it, I would say, a little bit challenging for us to approach this year. And it actually comes on the financials for this year. It comes actually with some negatives for us, and some negative impacts. So that doesn't change that the World Cup is great. I'm the biggest fan. I was at so many World Cups. I'm looking forward to see the games here. It doesn't change that I think in general for MLS and for the game in Canada and in the United States, it's only positive. And then if I blend that out and look only at my numbers that my CFO presents me, I'm thinking like something is missing for us here right now, and something that we have to discuss, and something that we have to find solutions for, because I mean, we have spoken very openly that our situation wasn't great before it. So it's not helpful if the situation goes after such a great year, after such a success, into the other direction.
Okay, go to Elke.
Yeah, just quickly, my inbox has been very busy with all the new people coming in onto the team. Could you give us a little rundown of who? I know there's someone from Ecuador and someone from Europe, I think. Or
Yeah, no, thank you for the spotting question. Actually, yes, it's a great day, and to be able to announce 3 new signings, and all of them we think will help us to in different areas on the pitch, but will also help us with a very packed schedule and a lot of games we have to play again. And we wanted to invest and have more depth, so I think we have made a few decisions. We already brought in Oliver, who actually was there for a week in Spain, who looks really, really good and has settled in right away. And now we bring in with Aziel and with Belal, 2 players who have experience in the league and have shown clearly above average performances in the league. and players who are also coming with profiles that we don't have in this way, and give us, I mean, more visibility, more options, and with that also in general the depth and the options for Jesper to continue to do what we did last year, to be able to rotate, to be able to share the load that we have with this many games, and not to lose our strengths at the same time. And with Bruno, we bring in another U22 player, and I think we had pretty good success with U22 players. I want to remind everyone that Pedro Vito was a U22 player, and we have sold him last year. We brought in Eddie Ocampo, and he was a key last year. And we brought in 6 months ago Kenji Cabrera. And we were actually thinking that, like the other players before, he would need probably 6 months' time to adapt and to settle in. But he was already a very impactful and helpful player for us in certain games. And the same with Bruno now. We have signed him with the expectation that it will take some time until he is, I would say, up to speed, has completely settled in, has adjusted to the new level. But it's welcome. He's welcome to adapt faster and to be impactful faster. And I can share here with not sharing any details, although Harry will obviously ask me for it. We have another signing coming next week, and we will have one more experienced and player coming next week, who will then additionally strengthen our team.
We'll go online now. Start with Michael McCall.
Hey Axel, I know you love questions on the sporting side, but I've got to start with a stadium one for you. So you've talked about 2026. If we look beyond that from 2027, what is the possibility of the club being able to build another temporary stadium like you did in 2011, or even negotiate with Parco to buy and own BC Place?
Yeah, great question, and obviously gives me the chance to share a little bit more that we haven't put into the letter. But I mean, I want to be very transparent here. So we have announced 14 months ago, something like that this club is for sale. And we have worked now 14 months on this. We had, I would say, in general, like roughly 100-ish outreaches. We had like more than 30, almost 40 groups who signed an NDA and went into our data room and did a full analysis on our situation. All those groups have worked with experts and have spent dollars into doing a 360 analysis to think about is it something that they want to invest in. And the reality is that they have asked us a lot of questions. They have also discussed with us alternative solutions and what the market looks like and what our setup looks like. And as of now, at this moment, no one, not one single one, is interested in buying even 1% of this club, because all of them think that our setup here and the market and the situation we are in is not something where you can invest in, and as long as not things change completely. So if you ask me after 2026, I mean 2026 is right as of now a financially worse year for us than 2025 has been. And the realities that we have discussed with everyone are pretty clear, but we got also the financial report of the league. And we have been the second best team in North America. And we have been, again, the last team in revenues in all MLS. And that doesn't fit together. And so what are the solutions after 2026? Honestly, a lot of things have to happen. And we had great conversations, and we had nice conversations, and we had great in the sense of very open, very I would say in a good atmosphere, in a great atmosphere, with understanding on the other side. But there's not enough progress as of now that I can say we have a solution or we have an idea how the solution can look like. I mean, we have a lot of ideas, but so far none of those ideas are possible or we can be done only by us. And so saying all of this, we wanted to be transparent with our season ticket holders and with you that we haven't given up on this market, don't get me wrong, but we are literally after 14 months in, not one step further than we have been 14 months ago. And I think we are maybe a few steps forward because we have already looked in a lot of scenarios, A, B, C, whatever, and none of them is doable. And it looks like they are not doable for many good reasons, but that's not the solution then for us. So what is the solution? I mean, if somebody has an idea, if somebody wants to step up, if somebody changes his mind, that's very welcome. But as of now, I will not stop working on some. But as of now, the progress is definitely too little to be optimistic. And somebody asked me, I think it was at the town hall, city hall. Are you concerned? And I said, look, it's also right to be concerned, and my concerns are there, and maybe my concerns today are a little bit bigger than they have been a couple months ago.
I'll use my follow-up then to keep on the stadium thing. Then the MOU that you signed up at Hastings Racecourse, we know you've got to the end of the year. Is there a chance that could get signed way quicker to allow you to build a partly temporary stadium on part of the land that you might be using for the entertainment side of things?
Look, I wouldn't say all this stuff today if there would be that kind of plan there and it would be easily to execute. I mean, we have signed the MOU. And we have started to engage with all stakeholders. We have started to engage with experts, with various experts from different markets, with experience, builders, developers, analysts. And we have also, again, engaged with a lot of those people who have been in our data room and have said, look, there is something new. We have signed this MOU. It's uploaded in the data room. It's also public available, by the way. And we would like to discuss it with you. But as of now, there's nothing that would really change our situation, because at the end, it's not about having a new stadium. I would love to have a new stadium, don't get me wrong, and everyone would love that. But at the end, this also then has to address our challenges that we have right now on the financial side. I mean, it doesn't help us if we can build a new stadium and the more revenues just pay what the new stadium has cost, because at the end, then we are still where we are right now. And so even there, so far, I would say not enough progress to say that there is a temporary, short-term, mid-term solution that has convinced anyone, including us, but also of those who are generally interested in maybe making an offer for a sports team. And that's also concerning, obviously.
Cheers, Axel. I appreciate the transparency.
Thank you, Michael. We will go to Jeff Carlisle next, please.
Thank you. Hello, Axel. The previous question pretty much addressed all of my questions about the MOU and the stadium. On the sporting side, you mentioned a couple of weeks ago that you were going to try to negotiate a new deal for Tristan Blackman. I was wondering if there's any movement on that front, any progress that you can talk about?
Yeah, not really. And we have asked his camp and have told his camp that we're working on 4 incoming players. We have announced 3 now, and I told you that the 4th is coming next week. And there's only so much you can do, and this is all cost. I mean, all of this is costs a lot of time to get that done, and so I have spoken with him in Spain when I was in Spain. I'm going back now, and we'll speak with him again there's general no question that we want to continue to work on a new paperwork for him, and I know that players, as other people as well, sometimes would like that things go faster. But even I have shared with you the last extension that was also 2 years out has taken us 3 months to get it done. I'm not saying that it should take 3 months again, and I'm not saying that we slow play it because that we get to meet this threshold of 3 months. But right now, the rationale behind this is that we are working on these, have worked on these transfers, still working on one more, and we'll then focus on the players on our team that have right now a contract.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. We'll go to Joshua next, please.
Hi, Axel. Just going to ask you about about the importance of the South American market for you in signing young players. You got Bruno now, and obviously AA and Kenji.
Yeah, I mean, that's a beautiful thing about our sport, that you can find good players everywhere, and that MLS is moving up the ladder in the worldwide ranking of leagues, and so it's a natural thing to look into markets where players also see that as a next step, and the South American market has a lot of leagues where this is a natural next step for those players, and so it's an important market. And I mean, there are a few other advantages for those players. It's still a long trip, but mostly they are then in a similar time zone. So what is sometimes challenging for players from other continents, where it is really hard to stay connected with your family and friends. And it's also, I would say, a general natural thing that players from South America first look what is close by and what's the next, as long as they are not getting an amazing offer from an EPL team. So, and then lastly, I have to say our recent success with these players, and Pedro is one example, obviously also has put us more on the radar for South American players. And they have seen the success stories, and they see that with Edia, and they see how happy Kenji is and how well he progressed. And those players are also talking to each other, and for that reason, South America is an attractive market for us, because there are a lot of pros for us from this market.
Perfect, thank you.
Thank you, Joshua. We'll go to Nathan next.
Hi, Axel. How are you doing today?
I'm okay, thank you.
That's good. I had a question with one of the signings that you brought in and announced today with Aziel Jackson. The loan option goes until midway through this season. Obviously, that makes sense knowing what the Polish league goes until. But this is a player that has bounced around to a number of clubs so far in his young career. A handful of MLS teams, over to Poland, and now back to MLS. Does this short-term loan contract kind of give you also the option of looking at this player? It's very, I guess, cost-effective when you were talking about the financials on whether or not you do want to purchase him long-term. And is that half a year enough time to do that?
Yeah, I mean, if the half the year looks like last year half the year, then it's coming with a lot of games. So, and that's a plan. I mean, there are many reasons for this half year loan, and we have an option. So it's in our hands to make the decision, what is also important. And there's, I would say, there's nothing to lose here with doing a half a year loan and an option. But also we have to see how things are going in our roster. I mean, it is also, I would say, kind of a reaction to the latest developments on Ryan Gold and him not be available at the beginning of the season, and having another versatile offensive player who can play various positions and knows the league and has played well in this league. It's I think a very good move for now. And then I mean, on top, I think we have some success with players who have bounced around. You could have said the same about Sebastian Berhalter probably. And so for that reason, I think we and that's also what we told him, is we are a club that is successful and has experience with giving such players a home and helping them to jump and develop to another level.
Very true. Last one for me, Belal Halbouni announced for a brand new contract. He went down injured towards the very end of the season in the playoffs. It looked very serious. I just wanted to know kind of what the situation was with his health. Yeah,
actually, that's okay. Luckily, it wasn't that bad. I mean, it was still an injury, but the injury had nothing to do with the contract. It was actually the opposite, because the injury wasn't so bad. We had discussions with him about the options, how much or where he would sit on the roster and how much competition we have on this position. And I would say now, after Jodrik went back to Belgium, and we have, I would say, more space or less competition, that was also a key information for him to convince him to sign with us again.
Thanks, Axel.
Okay, that wraps it up for today. Thank you very much, everyone.
Okay.